Have you ever wondered why some people seem impossible to manipulate? Like human force fields of emotional intelligence that just deflect toxic behavior? Well, buckle up because today we're diving into the secret world of psychological ninja moves that make certain individuals manipulation-proof. Picture this. You're at a social gathering and there's always that one person who seems to navigate conversations like a Zen master. They're not rude, they're not aggressive, but somehow they always maintain their boundaries with an almost supernatural grace. It's like they have an invisible shield that makes manipulators bounce off them like rubber balls against a brick wall. Let's talk about the first silent behavior that sets these psychological warriors apart: emotional self-awareness. Imagine your emotions are like a sophisticated GPS system. Most people have a basic model that can get them from point A to point B. But these manipulation-resistant individuals? They've got the premium, top-of-the-line emotional navigation system. They can instantly recognize when someone is trying to press their buttons, trigger their insecurities, or play mind games. It's not about being defensive or putting up walls. No, it's about having such a crystal-clear understanding of your own emotional landscape that external attempts to mess with your inner world feel like background noise. They can instantly detect when a conversation is veering from genuine communication into manipulation territory. It's like they have an internal BS detector that's always on high alert, but so subtly that the manipulator never even realizes they've been spotted. Think about it like this. A manipulator is like a pickpocket trying to steal your emotional wallet. But these people? They're not just keeping their wallet secure, they're aware of every single move the pickpocket makes before they can even get close. Their emotional intelligence is so refined that manipulation attempts become comically transparent. The second silent behavior is something I call the calm confidence paradox. These individuals don't need to prove anything to anyone. Their self-worth isn't a fragile china doll that shatters with the slightest criticism. Instead, it's more like a titanium shield, strong, flexible, and virtually unbreakable. When someone tries to manipulate them, they don't react with anger or defensiveness. They respond with a calm, almost bemused energy that completely derails the manipulator's game plan. Imagine a chess master facing an amateur player who's desperately trying to cheat. The master doesn't throw a tantrum or accuse the amateur of cheating. They simply play the game with such skill and composure that the cheating becomes irrelevant. That's exactly how these manipulation-proof people operate in social and professional interactions. By the way, if you're tired of feeling like a human punching bag for emotional manipulators and want to learn these game-changing skills, smash that subscribe button. Trust me, this journey of becoming manipulation-proof is about to get wild, and you won't want to miss a single revelation. Want to know how deep this psychological rabbit hole goes? Hit subscribe and let's continue unraveling the mystery together. Now, let's dive deeper into the psychological armor that makes some people manipulation-proof. We've already explored emotional self-awareness and calm confidence, but trust me, there's so much more to this fascinating world of social jujitsu. The third silent behavior is what I call the boundary blueprint, and it's nothing short of psychological magic. These individuals don't just have boundaries, they have an entire architectural master plan of personal space that would make urban planners jealous. It's not about building walls. It's about creating smart, flexible zones that protect their mental and emotional real estate. Imagine your personal boundaries like a high-tech security system. Most people have a basic alarm that goes off when someone crosses a line. But these manipulation-proof individuals? They've got motion sensors, laser grids, and an entire command center monitoring every single interaction. They can detect a potential boundary invasion from miles away, and they neutralize it with such elegance that the would-be manipulator doesn't even realize what hit them. Take communication, for example. When someone tries to push their buttons, these masters of personal defense don't engage in a verbal wrestling match. They respond with strategic neutrality, a communication style so smooth that it's like watching a martial arts expert deflect punches without even breaking a sweat. They might say something like, "I hear what you're saying, but that doesn't work for me," and suddenly the manipulator's entire strategy crumbles like a house of cards. The fourth silent behavior is emotional detachment, but not in the cold, robotic way you might be thinking. It's more like an emotional force field that allows them to observe situations without getting sucked into the drama tornado. Picture yourself as a mountain, solid, unmovable, watching the storms rage around you without getting swept away. That's the level of emotional mastery we're talking about. This doesn't mean they're unfeeling or cold. On the contrary, they're incredibly empathetic. But they've mastered the art of caring without carrying. They can listen to someone's dramatic story, offer genuine compassion, but not take on the emotional baggage. It's like being a compassionate lighthouse, providing guidance and support, but not getting pulled into the stormy seas. Manipulators typically rely on emotional triggers, those little red buttons they love to press to get the reaction they want. But these psychological ninjas? They've essentially turned those buttons into elaborate decoy systems. Press what you think is a trigger, and all you'll get is a calm, calculated response that leaves you more confused than when you started. Want to transform your social interactions and become a manipulation-proof legend? This journey is about to get even more mind-blowing. Subscribe now, and let's unlock the remaining secrets that will turn you into a social superhero. Can't wait to reveal how deep this rabbit hole goes? Hit that subscribe button, and prepare for a masterclass in personal empowerment that will change everything you thought you knew about human interactions. Buckle up, because we're about to unveil the final, most mind-blowing silent behaviors that separate manipulation-proof individuals from the rest of the world. If the previous insights were a psychological appetizer, this is the main course that's going to blow your mind into another dimension. The fifth silent behavior is what I call the strategic vulnerability, and it's a game changer that most people completely misunderstand. These masters of personal boundaries don't create impenetrable walls. Instead, they create carefully curated windows that give just enough insight to disarm potential manipulators while protecting their core. Imagine you're a castle, not with stone walls and drawbridges, but with strategically placed glass panels that reflect light in unexpected ways. When a manipulator tries to probe for weaknesses, they find themselves looking at a complex, multifaceted reflection that reveals nothing and everything simultaneously. It's like watching a magician who's so good at misdirection that you can't even tell where the real magic is happening. This isn't about being mysterious or playing hard to get. It's about understanding that true strength lies in knowing exactly what to share and what to protect. They might open up about a past challenge, but in a way that demonstrates resilience rather than vulnerability. It's the difference between saying "I was broken" and "I became stronger." A subtle linguistic jujitsu that turns potential manipulation attempts into moments of genuine connection. The sixth silent behavior takes us into the realm of social judo, what I call the energy redirection technique. Manipulators typically try to control conversations, emotions, and interactions. But these psychological martial artists? They don't fight the energy, they transform it. It's like watching a master redirecting a river's flow without using a single shovel. When someone tries to push their agenda, these individuals don't resist. They absorb, reflect, and redirect with such subtle skill that the original manipulator feels like they've won, only to realize later that they've been completely outmaneuvered. It's not about winning or losing. It's about maintaining personal sovereignty with the grace of a diplomatic ninja. The seventh and final silent behavior is perhaps the most powerful: radical self-acceptance. These individuals have done the deep inner work of understanding themselves so profoundly that external validation becomes irrelevant. They're like emotional alchemists who can turn criticism into curiosity, judgment into growth. Manipulation thrives on insecurity, on those little cracks of self-doubt where toxic people can wedge their toxic tools. But when you've built a foundation of genuine self-love and understanding, those tools become nothing more than plastic knives against a titanium shield. It's not arrogance. It's a calm, centered understanding of your own worth that no external force can shake. Think about it. The most manipulation-proof people aren't those who never get hurt or never feel emotions. They're the ones who have learned to dance with their emotions, to understand their triggers, to turn potential weaknesses into sources of incredible strength. They've transformed their personal pain into a superpower that makes them virtually untouchable. Ready to become the master of your own emotional universe? To transform from a potential victim to an absolute legend of personal empowerment? This journey is just beginning, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Subscribe now, and let's turn you into the most manipulation-proof version of yourself that has ever existed. Seriously, hit that subscribe button, because this is more than just a channel. This is your blueprint to psychological freedom.